Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony, and you're joining us for ECOM and Beyond, the best morning show on YouTube.
You know
And with me, as always, I have my co-host Nate. Every day I'm hustling, / the man with the sick beard.
The beard.
And then we have a very special tandem with us today. We have like the Denver version of me and Nate. We have Frank, Stroke of Luck, and we have Jimmy, Full Flips. And these guys are the Mile High Treasure Hunters. They have a show every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I know it's in the morning for you guys over there in Denver, but for us it's like in the afternoon. So I'm not entirely sure what time zone.
Yeah, we're saying good morning to everybody. They're like, no, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock our time that we go on. But yeah, see a lot of people in the chat. Definitely want to say hi to everybody. But if you guys want to do I love your rundown when you guys first go on. So if you guys want to do that, I'll just sit back and enjoy that.
Sure thing. First person we got in today for the Broski Point is Simply Dana. What's going on, Dana?
What up?
Good to see you. Got Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller. What is going on, Johnny? Good to see you. $Sand in the house. What up, Ray? Good to see you, man. Oh, the mastress of the roundhouse kick. We got Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward.
Good morning.
Don't want to mess with her or run into her in a dark alley.
She has sound effects built in too, I bet.
Got DC Sales, the master of the license plate, with us. What's going on, D? Glad that you're able to make it. We got Tracy T's Flips here. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here, Tracy. There's a shout to you, Nate. D likes the thumbnail.
Thank you.
Nate hooked that up.
I've been getting better with the thumbnails lately.
All right, Nate. Who's this one?
No money, G.
You did. Got Paul in the house, Gate City Picker. Good to see you, my man. Got Wendy in the house, Fat Girl Sewing. Good to see you, Wendy. OSP. What's up, my man?
OSP. What's up, Chris?
Shane in the house. What's going on, Shane? Good morning. Dino Mac. Good morning, my man.
Dino's from Colorado. What's up, Dino?
Nice.
My Green Mountain brother.
Just pumping out that sanitizer this morning. Yeah, you definitely need that sanitizer.
Yes.
Instead of doing this, we're all doing this.
Rev Resales in the house. What's going on, Rev? Good to see you.
Rev, the man. Do it.
Man, the myth.
Larry the stash with the voice.
Got Jennifer Hayes. Good morning to you. Brittany's got them brands. What's going on, Brittany?
Got them brands.
What's the brand of the day? Land Shark Picker in the house. What's up, Craig?
What's up, Craig?
Hey, Alexis. Good morning. Glad that you're able to make it.
She got the bling bling face mask.
Yeah. DV, what's up? Good to see you, man. DV's a newer channel that I found. I don't know if he's a newer channel, but he's new to me. He does a lot of card openings, and I've been like obsessed with like selling sports cards lately.
I'll put one of those videos on. Sorry.
If you guys are into sports cards, definitely check out DV.
All right, yeah.
He has some pretty cool videos. Moronic Pest is in the house. Good morning to you. Got Christina Moore. Good morning, Christina. So glad you're here. Dan M is in the house.
Hey, what up, Dan? That's Frank's cousin.
Nice.
What's up, Dan?
What's going on, man?
Dan, the IT guy.
The master of IT.
He took a demotion to come work for us.
The salary's not great, but the benefits are
bombastic.
Yeah, Rev says it's Colorado versus Pittsburgh.
We brought Tebow with us, so
yeah, I was gonna say most matches we lose.
I mean, Roethlisberger's definitely made us look bad a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have that 2006 AFC
2005?
championship game, 2005 AFC championship game still. Well, there were more terrible towels that Invesco filled than there were.
Sure.
That's always my comeback to the Tebow game. Well, what about 2005?
Yeah, I mean, Roethlisberger picked us. I mean, I remember that game very well. Roethlisberger was like on fire. He picked us apart. Like we thought we had a chance. Was that Jake Plummer, right?
Yeah, that was Plummer was the quarterback, and
we had a chance with Plummer, and
Cutler was the backup.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well. Roethlisberger was on fire in that game.
You know, I have kind of the same response, Anthony, when Green Bay Packer fans try to talk smack about the Broncos and, you know, how many championships the Packers have won. I'm like, hey, I'm a huge Packer fan.
Yeah,
they gave the Broncos their first Super Bowl win. So, you know, shout out to all Packer fans for making this that guy's dreams come true, because that was it was nice to finally win a Super Bowl. So,
yeah, sure. That was a good Super Bowl too. Elway versus Favre.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah.
What's even more about it was, you know, Atwater probably could have won the MVP of that game just as much as Terrell Davis winning the MVP of that game. Atwater was.
Football has changed so much, but if you ever go back and watch Atwater's hit, he had one of the biggest hits ever in that game. He knocked out like 3 people, including himself. He had one of the biggest hits in that game. He knocked out a receiver, another Denver Bronco cornerback, and himself. Like, all 3 of them were out on the ground, just laying there. And that's one of those hits that shows you how much football's changed.
Yeah.
Definitely. That game would have ended differently, because that would have been a 15-yard personal foul penalty and everything else. And then the Packers would have a new set of 4 downs after that play for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no fear crossing the middle anymore.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You got guys like Edelman, like running rampant when, you know, you'd have put Ed Reed or someone in the box down there to catch one of them.
Right.
Got his bell ring.
I think like Ronnie Lott down the barrel at him.
I agree. That's changed the game a lot in a huge way. I agree. Like, you know, they're making a living over the middle, which you used to not be able to make an easy living over the middle. That's for sure.
Right.
Yep.
For sure. Hey, good morning, Philly Road Tech. Appreciate you being here. Matt, Phoenix Flippers is in the house.
What up?
Good to see you, Matt.
Yeah, Matt's got some good info. I want to tell him real quick, Matt, I didn't use it for a shoe, but I made your box last night, the box that you showed how to make. I made one for I had a giant Mass Effect like collectible toy that fit in that box perfectly. So he had a video he showed how to make a box for a big shoe box. I was like, well, this is about the size of a shoe box, and I made that box. It worked perfectly.
Nice. My chat is like all over the place right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
He says, "Go Pack, go."
Hey Nate, I had a question on Amazon for you if you don't mind answering it.
What's up?
Because we kind of touched base a little bit on Amazon, and you had talked about how big of a risk is it if you find something at an estate sale that's new in the package, and then you try to sell it new on Amazon? Is that a huge risk? Like, can that get you shut down?
If anybody would ever make a non-authentic claim, then yeah, I mean, you could have your account suspended. I mean, and that goes along with a lot of, you know, what I talk about, like protecting your account, making sure nobody knows your account, because there is people out there that will see an item like that and be like, I know he didn't buy that brand new and have a receipt for it because it's like 10 years old or 5 years old or, you know, whatever. And next you know, be like, oh, it's not authentic. They'll just buy it just for that, get their money back, and now you're fighting for your account again. So yeah, I would definitely.
Then that would lead me to another question on that same topic. Then is, can you sell that used like new? And you know, if maybe say the box has some damage, is that a bad thing to do?
There's a grading sheet that they have out there online, and even on the Seller University that kind of talks about conditions. So new like new would be like just like a little bit of minor box damage, or you know, like really minor box damage, but it's basically new. Like it's like new has like really, really minor shelf damage. Like,
so if if you had that, like let's say like Blink Media, say you had a thing of CDs, burnable CDs that was still new in the package, maybe had a little couple scuffs on it. If you sold that used like new, you should be okay then.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe I'll be okay.
All right, cool. That was a big question for me because I was kind of worrying about a little bit of that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. That's a big point. I was kind of talking to Matt about that yesterday, and I didn't have an answer for him. So that helped the question. Thanks.
Yep.
So speaking of Amazon, I did everything after our show and got my email last night about midnight that I got approved for everything. So I will be selling on Amazon now. So
nice.
So what's up, dude? You got approved quick, man.
Yeah, I was actually because the email they sent me. I mean, I did all the the verification, banking, and all that stuff, and it said it could take like up to I think it was 48 or 72 hours to get a response back. But I got an email about midnight last night. So
nice.
That's a topic that I definitely have questions on because I saw your post on Facebook last night. I'm just gonna sit back and listen. I mean,
so
whatever you want to share with us, I know everybody wants to know.
Before you share it, Nate, I just want to say hi to Bluegrass Picker Anthony and to Thrift Beast CQ Chris. Thank you guys for being here.
The man with the logo. I love his logo.
Picker as well. Thank you for being here, my man.
So I walk into work.
Wait. We're not ready for you to walk into work yet, Nate.
All right, walk into work.
Walk into work. All right, so walk into work. Move.
Walking to work and then talking to a couple of my coworkers, and they're like, "Well, we're getting cut down in hours." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" What? He's like, "I wonder what shift you're on." I'm like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And so they had this sheet that basically, showed everyone's schedule and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm supposed to be guaranteed my 8 hours because that was part of the contract I signed with the company was. And that's the whole reason why I stayed with the position I was, because of the stability of 40 hours, 8 hours a day, X amount of pay. For the other shifts, you're able to make more money because you're getting paid what's called P for P, which is depending on how many transactions or things you do, you get paid for that. Like the more you do per hour, the higher your pay rate is. So I took less money for the stability of things because I am the only person that has income in the household. I want to make sure that, X was coming in where, Y was my business stuff that I was able to keep flipping and keep rolling and keep going. And so I went straight to HR. I didn't even talk to Mr. Burns. Like I went straight to HR, and then HR brought in, I guess he's like the main boss in the building, like the boss of all bosses, which in the Simpsons world, I don't even know who that is. But so we sat down, talked. He was kind of annoyed that he actually had to have the conversation with me. And I was like, look, I says, I signed something that said, it's a contract saying I was getting X amount of hours, X amount of days, hours per day, so on and so forth. So he told me to bring in my contract. So we'll see what we have to say today. But more or less, I think it's more leverage for me if, say, they would try to lay me off or fire me and, try and fight me for unemployment benefits and stuff like that. Or I can go after them legally.
Yeah, for sure.
If everything is exactly the way I see it on that paperwork. So we will see. Stay tuned.
I mean, did they say why they're doing that to everybody? Is it because of what's going on, or is it just?
We don't service grocery stores right now. We do mainly restaurants, prisons, old folks' homes, other companies. So our company took a hit. Like we're probably doing half of what we normally do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been slow and stuff like that. But if you sign up, if an NFL player has a contract, it's supposed to be 100% guaranteed. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm just like not coming to work or just Yeah, I'll just list all day. I'm not going to come in and I'm on my phone the whole time or whatever. So they can't complain about anything I'm doing that in regard. So I expected to still, get my hours and stuff. So, and it's only me and another guy that should be in that situation. So it's not like, well, now half the workforce is under contract where the other guys, they don't. They're, they get paid P for P and their hours is X to X because there's no set hour per day for the other shifts. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what goes on from this point on. But it sucks because now, instead of getting 8 hours a day, I'm getting 5. So I'm going from 40 or 45 or 50 hours a week to 25 a week. So
will it affect your insurance or anything like that? Did they mention?
no, they said that's why they had to keep it at 25.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. At least that's good.
Yeah, they didn't want us to lose our insurance because they pay for partial of it. I think it's like half. Like they pay for half, and then the other half comes out of my paycheck.
Right.
And they didn't want us to lose it or whatever, so that's why they picked 25 hours or whatever. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I want to see what's up to Freddie Blue Rhino Liquidations. What's going on? Tripler's in the house. Good to see you, my man.
What up, Tripler? I appreciate that, Tripler.
Triple.
Yeah, so Jennifer shared Nate's link, said, let's get Nate to 1,000. Yeah, Nate's well on the way. Where you at now, Nate?
854. So I gained like 20 subs or so from last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Grimes shared. I didn't even know he shared it out until after the show, but he shared it out in his community post. So that was really awesome. So if he's watching, thanks, Grimes. Man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, Grimes is the man. Like he's literally like one of the most open-handed content creators I've ever met. Especially like with like the size of his channel, you know what I mean? Like he's one of like the humblest people I've met. Like, so if you guys haven't seen Grimes Finds yet or anything like that, make sure you go check him out.
Grimes
Great dude.
He makes really good content. Storage lockers. He's a really cool guy. He was going to come to the meetup if we were going to have it or whatever. So, it's unfortunate we can't have it now, but
yeah, that sucks.
But he was going to even come to that as well. So,
yeah,
he has always been, a top supporter of ours, just like a lot of you guys, and we appreciate you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen his channel. Yep, I know Grimes Finds. Yep.
He does storage locker stuff. He's awesome, man. He's like one of my favorite channels.
Very informative, and he makes it fun, and he's really funny too. So really good channel. Yeah.
Bertie says his channel is better than the TV storage shows. Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. I just love Grimes' personality. You know what I mean? Like I get drawn into the people. Grimes is just like he's just that dude, man. Like he's the type of dude that I can see myself hanging out with.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I'll watch. I've watched a couple of his videos. I'm gonna watch some more now.
Yep.
So we got Uncle B and Frank in the house today. What's up, fellas? Glad that you can come in the show with us, have some fun, answer some questions. If anybody in the chat has any questions for these guys, let us know. We're gonna hit them with some questions, and maybe we'll switch it up and let them ask.
Morning, Emily.
So.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah, just thanks for having us on. It's been looking forward to it. Once Jimmy sent me a text and said we were scheduled on the show, I've been looking forward to it. So,
yeah, we've been looking forward to having you guys on. I've been saying it a few times, either through the show or through one of my vlogs, but these guys here are like what I consider an up-and-coming channels. Their show is awesome. If you like our show, you're going to like their show. It's very similar. They're really good guys, down to earth, really humble, hardworking. So definitely, if you're not following these guys, I have both of their links in the description down below. Jennifer Hayes has been awesome enough to drop some links in the chat as well. So do me a favor and subscribe to both of them. You won't regret it. I tell you that much.
I appreciate that, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I kind of told Anthony, I watched his show. I was like, man, I want to do that. Like, I want to be. That looks like fun. We just want to have fun and hit on some of the topics that you guys want to talk about. So, it's a lot of watching the comments, answering questions, hitting on those topics, and then trying to make, we'll make light of some of the stuff. But when it gets, it's time to talk about serious business. We'll talk serious business too. And, that's definitely what we see on your show, and definitely enjoy watching. So,
appreciate that.
That's kind of how we kind of built our show after years. If you guys don't mind that. And then, like you said, we live in the same city. We've been friends forever, so it's just like, why not do it? It makes sense, right?
Yeah. I think that's one thing, like me and Nate have talked about that. I think that's one thing that helps this show is the fact that we're real life friends and just that type of chemistry together. I think that's something that really helps us as far as being a tandem. And I think that's something that's going to help you guys too.
Cool. And not only that, like just with future stuff as well. Like you guys can go out and do the things that me and Anthony do. We can go source and hang out and go to garage sales and different things like that. And it's just something that is just added into the combination of you guys, which how many other people can really say that? You know what I mean? There's not many people out there that have people that are close enough or maybe that are creators that, go and do things together like that. So I think it really helps the viewership of both channels and just, your show as well, combine and as things go with you guys.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been doing it. We've been doing that anyways. Like when things were normal, Frank would text me, "We're gonna hit up some estate sales." Yes, sir. And we'd I'll be over in 15 minutes. Let's go. So now let's start recording it, right? Like let's start sharing it with everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started too. I was watching Lonnie over Garage Flips, and I was literally doing most of the things he was doing. But I was talking to him one day. He goes, "Well, literally the only difference is I put a camera on and you don't." So I was like, yeah, that's true. So I ended up flipping my camera on and started that way. It's really that simple. There was a couple questions in the chat. Quick. Also want to say hi to Ray Dominguez. Guessing you are related to Frank.
That's my brother.
Nice. Thanks for being here, Ray. What's up to Lisa? Thanks for being here. Steampunk Town, appreciate you joining us. Freddie, I don't remember if I said hi to you or not, but hello, Freddie Blue Rhino Liquidations. And let's see, the first question was from Kelly ECOM Mom Ward. She's having the same issue I had. Item shows not paid, but the buyer states they have paid. Have I found a solution to this? I have not found a solution to this. Let me see here. Freddie did say, check the PayPal email of the listings that you're having issues with, saying paid but not. Sometimes I've noticed eBay changes the email PayPal address. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out because that would make sense why it would show not paid on my end and paid on theirs. So yeah, that's I would say check that out too.
Yeah, that's a big issue if it's going. That's not something I want to deal with. I know you're having to. It sounds like it's not very fun.
I've sent 4 emails to eBay about this stuff, and I haven't gotten one response yet.
Yeah, because now you can't even call them. So yeah, that makes it even more frustrating.
It's to the point where like I've been having these people wait so long. I'm thinking about just sending the cards out, and if I get screwed up, you know what I mean? Like I just don't want to provide horrible service like this,
Right. Yeah. And they can't even call eBay. So it's just, you can't call eBay. They can't call eBay. Yeah, that's not fun.
There was a question for you guys from Emily Conway. She wants to know, what kinds of things do you like to sell?
Right. You want to answer that one first? Because I know his answer.
Yeah. Mine will be a lot shorter answer. This is simple for me. I always tell everybody anything I can buy cheap and sell for nice profits. So I do everything from clothes to hard goods, movie posters, diapers, and even the diapers were way before even the coronavirus issues. So this isn't something I'm trying to take advantage of people. And now after the fact, I literally, if I can buy it cheap and sell it for profit, I'm going to do it. I don't know the motto back when I worked in my old job, when they talked to me about my sales model, I said, I'll sell anything that's not bolted down.
Right.
If it's bolted down, give me a wrench and it won't be bolted down for long.
Sure.
So that's my answer. Everything. I'll sell everything, anything, toys, everything. So Jimmy,
my answer is similar, except that every once in a while, I like to sell toys and video games. So I'll spend up and I'll spend a little bit extra on stuff like that I know will sell fast and move faster. So I definitely will sell just about anything I can get my hands on for a cheap price and sell for a good profit. But I'll spend a little bit up on some toys. I buy a lot of collections. I look for people selling collections. I've done that quite a bit. For the most part, they seem pretty happy that they found something that's willing to buy their entire collection, and then I turn around and make a little bit of money off of it. Sometimes I make a lot of money off of it, depending on what it is. But action figures for sure. But I sell Monster High dolls. I've sold Monster High dolls. I've sold, you name it. If it's a toy I want, I'll try to sell. I'll look it up and try to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then video games. I love selling I like selling video game consoles and controllers more than the games themselves. So I'm always looking for stuff like that as well. And that's also, I'll see a Facebook. I do a lot of sourcing on Facebook Marketplace. If I see someone selling an Xbox 360 with a stack of games and controllers, well, I see the money. I see money in the controllers. I see money in the, in the game.
Yeah.
And, so I'll just sit there and do the math in my head. And if I see there's enough profit there, I'm going to give them a message and try to buy it. So
yeah,
those are the main things though. Video games and toys are my two favorite things to sell.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that. Those are like my two bread and butter items is video games and toys.
The hard part is deciding when I'm going to become a collector. Like right now I'm selling them, but eventually, like now that I've been doing this, like, man, I want to start keeping some of this stuff for myself.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. Like I used to have every single system, and I've limited myself to just Nintendo systems now.
So do you have a big Pokemon card collection, or do you sell everything that you get?
I had a decent sized collection. I sold through the majority of it. I really kept like one deck of cards in case I'd ever want to go back and play like in the expanded format, because being that I'm not collecting currently, like I won't have any of the newer cards to play. So I kept one deck that was pretty good for expanded, and I sold the rest of it. And I have a base set card of Blastoise, who's my favorite Pokemon. So I kept that, but other than that, I've sold everything else.
It's funny because there was a fateful day last summer where I was at a yard sale, and this guy brought this. I mean, we're talking thousands of cards. He brought them out, and he was selling them all, and I didn't know anything. The only thing I knew about Pokemon cards is that my boys liked them. That was it.
Yeah.
So I bought this huge box of Pokemon cards for $250. And that day and the weeks to follow, I learned a ton about Pokemon cards. So I have a decent knowledge, nothing great, but I know a decent amount about them. But so they've piqued my interest now, and I made a lot of money. By the way, that other one I was talking about was a Shining Steelix.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think I sold that one for about $150 after I got it graded. So I think it graded at like a 9. So I mean, the thing about these cards, they were all in top loaders, and they were all near mint to mint. I proved that because I sent 4 of them out to get graded. One of them was a 10. The other 3 were 9s. Mm-hmm. So it was just an amazing find. I've made so much money off those cards.
I can imagine, man.
I mean,
he looked like Scarface. He had stacks of cards all around him on his desk, like
it was crazy. I mean,
I went for him to put a King of the World poster behind him. He was like, the Tony Montana of Pokemon cards last summer. That was for sure.
I have like 900 first edition. I don't remember the set though. It's drawing a blank. But they have the little first edition stamp on them. They're both from like 98 or whatever. I have like 800 of those cards just sitting in my closet I still got to go through.
Yeah.
So.
Emily is talking about how there's good value in Charizard cards as well. Yeah, pretty much anything with the name Charizard on it is definitely worth picking up. some of them can be very, very valuable, especially the older ones. Really can't.
I was like, I'll be on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a
Special guest.
Extra special.
Knock stuff over.
Yeah, I think for me, like shoes. I love selling shoes. If I wasn't reselling, I'd probably be a sneakerhead again. Of course, I like fitted hats and things like that. So I like selling hats, buying hats.
Yeah, hats, man.
Video games, toys.
Hats too.
I keep the hats. I got a bunch of them. Sorry, Nate.
Oh, you're good. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I buy clothes, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm not like excited about it unless it's something, you know, that's like a spelled out, like polo or something like that, which I never find, or something vintage. But again, I never find that either. So, you know, most of the time, it's just, you know, trying to find that type of stuff, like the sneakers and different hats that, you know, maybe haven't been around for a while, that people will be like, oh, I want that, it's vintage, or it's a cool look, it's a like a different color, like scheme or whatever than what they normally have or whatever.
So you got a question down there. That's a great question.
Any tips on listing hats? Thing I do with hats, I just kind of either get like a bunch of like shopping bags that I have from like RA shopping, like get a bunch of them, put them in the hat, so it like makes it form out, and then just spin it around, and you know, just put your size and things like that in the hat. But you know, make sure you say it's a fitted, or if it's a snapback, or you know, whatever else it could be.
Don't use the word Velcro. Whatever you do.
Yeah. Hook and loop for
Vera.
But yeah, I mean that's honestly the best tip. This way, you know, by putting those bags in there, it makes it look like it would be on your head, like you can kind of tell the condition. You know, you don't have a hat it might have been a vintage one that's like when you set it down, it just basically collapses on the table and you can't tell what it is other than like the front part of the logo or whatever. So by doing that, it kind of gives people a good idea, like, okay, well, you know, when this goes on your head, it'll at least look decent or whatever. So,
right. Have you sold a lot of vintage hats? That's my thing. I love like vintage sports hats.
I sold some hats here and there. I made some okay money on them. Like I thought the hats would sell a little bit better than they did. Like, because I like, if you seen our auction we had,
yep.
You know, last month, that stack of hats was all listed, and it was surprising to me that a lot of that stuff wasn't kind of moving. But what's it called? But they're all good hats, man.
Yeah. What were the video game hats now? Well, you had some hats that were like video game theme, right?
Yeah, I got some ones, PlayStation ones that were.
That's right. Those were cool. Yeah.
That I got brand new from doing OA for a really good price, and they were going for good money. So I have two of those still, like one of each. I had 2 or 3 of each, but I got them for a really good price. So it's definitely worth getting hats like that if you can get them from different retailers and stuff. You know, with certain subjects. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
Couple hat tips I'll throw in there. One, I believe somebody in the chat mentioned I went to Walmart and bought a styrofoam head for like $4, and I put my hats on the styrofoam head for when I take the pictures. And number 2, I buy a 6x6x6 box from Walmart. My local Walmart, they're 40 cents for the box. Yeah. And a hat fits perfectly in that box for shipping, and you still get a hat shipped out at the 6-ounce rate.
Nice.
So your shipping's cheap, and your hat secured in a nice box, and they fit perfectly in there. So
I'll check it out, because
8x6x4 eBay boxes work really well on hats as well.
That's what I use. Yeah, but yeah, I use the Walmart box in a pinch too. Yeah.
That's what I just ordered as well.
Actually, here's an 8x6x4 right here. I can show you guys.
For Funkos too. Oh yeah, I like selling Funkos too.
Oh yeah, you sell a lot of Funkos?
Mm-hmm.
I've dabbled in it. I haven't sold a lot. I've sold a couple of them. I used to go to like Walgreens and look for the Walgreens exclusives and Target and look for their exclusives and stuff like that.
Most of the stuff I've bought in like smaller collections off people off like Facebook Marketplace and things of that nature. And sometimes I find some really good ones in Goodwill.
Oh, really?
So like, you know, they're everywhere. But most of mine have gone international, and people have spent like full price for them because each area has like a little different release sometimes. So if like it's a, you know, one that's say like from Comic-Con or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's a special spring one or whatever, like we'll have a different release here in the United States than it does say in Australia or UK sometimes. So they don't mind paying, you know, crazy amount of money.
Okay. I found one from that video game Horizon Zero Dawn, was it?
Mm-hmm.
That was the best one I've ever found. I think I got like almost $40 for it. I found it at a thrift store too, like you said. It's kind of a rare one. It was just like a lucky find, I guess.
Yeah. She asked if the hats are a little more long tail or do they move quickly. It just depends on which ones you're getting. If you're getting like the trucker snapbacks, I mean, you know, the vintage ones, it depends on, you know, what the logo is, what the you know, what it is. If you're buying sports hats, if it's like a popular team, like for example, like Kansas City won the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh hats always sell good because there's so many Pittsburgh fans all over the place. I mean, a lot of it has to do with just the general success of the team and the following. You know what I mean? If you're buying, you know, like Miami Dolphins hats right now, they're probably not the best because they're not very good right now. But you know, if you, I tell you one team you definitely want to buy right away if you find them. Tampa Bay Buccaneer stuff.
Right.
That stuff is going to be flying
that stuff just went
off the shelves.
Yep.
Because
I have a little story about a hat that a great example of what Nate's talking about. It's one of my best sales I've ever had. I was at a yard sale. I found a hat for 50 cents. It was from the 90s. It was a Los Angeles Raiders. They call it the script, made by Sports Specialties. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Yeah. It says Raiders in cursive. The name Raiders is in cursive.
Right.
But it was Los Angeles Raiders. And I listed that hat for $225 on eBay. The messages started rolling in right away, instantly. You know, people offering me $175, $180 here, and you know, $200. I ended up selling it for full price within 24 hours for $225. And what made that hat famous, I don't know if you guys are aware. Does anybody know what made that? Why the claim to fame on that style of hat? Frank knows. I know Frank knows. He wore that style of hat when he was in NWA. Mm-hmm. So streetwear stuff like that. That hat, and like I said, I got for 50 cents. I still have the Steelers hat that I bought that. I have it priced kind of high, but I found a Steelers hat that day, a vintage one as well. But that Raiders hat, I mean, I'm telling you guys, I put it on Instagram too, and people were messaging me on Instagram offering me money. I could probably find the picture, but yeah, that hat sold so fast. Like, it was just insane. So stuff like that, you know, while it's rare to find, hats can be an amazing find.
Yeah, the good thing I like about hats typically is you're typically at garage sales and even at thrift stores, most of the time you're less than a couple bucks cost. So you can kind of afford to write it out the length of if it takes a little while to sell. Because sometimes, like Jimmy said, you have 50 cents into a hat.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. If you don't mind, that's the hat right there that I sold.
Oh, yeah. That was like the
that was easy.
From like NWA that he always wore, the LA Raiders.
If you guys, by the way, this is definitely be on the lookout. This is a style if you can find from the 90s. They call that script. Just about any team script will sell well. Just that Los Angeles Raiders one is the best one. But I've sold a decent amount of hats like that are called script. So if you see a hat like that, make sure to check the tags. The tag will usually be loose on the bottom instead of stitched on both sides. The sports specialty tag will be loose on the bottom. That kind of is a telltale that it's vintage. That's some of the stuff I know on, like that, sports specialties, yep. That script style is really popular. So yeah, look at that. That's a
nice
script belt or corduroy. That's nice.
Yeah, that's definitely vintage. So I would price that up just for the fact that everyone's going to be either jumping on the bandwagon, that didn't cheer for Tampa Bay last year, and now they are, and they'll be looking for something cool to kind of just rock down there, and then it's just a different color too than what they have, so it will sell. It will sell for some good money.
Yeah, for sure, especially with what some people call the goat going there, right?
Yep.
Who's the? That's a tough question. Who's the Steelers goat?
Best player for the Steelers, I would say Joe Green, but
Joe Green.
I mean, we have so many great Hall of players. It's kind of hard to. I mean, just from the '70s alone, it'd be hard to pick.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. When it went through my head, I was like, man, Denver's easy. It's either, Elway, and then the short time Manning was here, whichever one you decide. Yeah. But Steelers had so many great players.
Honestly, depending on how Ben ends his career, like if it's going to be this year or next year or whatever, depending on how it ends, it could be definitely Ben Roethlisberger. If he ends this, if he has one of those, if he takes us to the Super Bowl, and even if we lose, I say he's probably still going to be like the best out of the Steelers.
You still put him over Bradshaw?
Yeah, it was a different era back then, and he didn't. I mean, like look at the players he had to play with on offense. Star Wars, Swan, and then
that defense.
Just being able to draft and keep your team like locked down like they did back in the day. It was so much easier just to basically just stack your roster if you know how to pick, and just keep playing every year. You know what I mean? So, for them to have the success they had, I tip the hat to Bradshaw for winning all those games and stuff like that. But the passing attack was nowhere near what it was back then. He had Franco Harris and Rocky. He had Rocky in the backfield, so like he had a run game. And then he had the Steel Curtain defense to go with. So he could have been more of like a Trent Dilfer quarterback in all reality. He probably
you can't even put Trent Dilfer and Terry Bradshaw in the same sentence, bro.
I'm just saying, like
that hit a nerve. That was like literally.
I'm not trying to talk shit on him. I'm just saying, like he could have been. Right. He could have been basically this type of quarterback and probably still would have won because of the defense and the type of offense of firepower he had around him, like the running backs, etc.
So, all time, like, where would you put Terry Bradshaw in your opinion? Like,
top 5,
like top 20? You top 5?
I'd say top 5. Like I said, I wasn't saying.
You mean in Steelers or in like quarterbacks?
Oh, I'm talking Steelers top 5.
Okay.
Just because the quarterback position, it's valuable, but I would say back then it wasn't as valuable. But I would definitely say he's probably in the top 5. Worst scenario, top 10 is in all Steelers.
Yeah, because back then there wasn't free agency and everything else, so it was easier to keep a team together. So
it's so hard to tell. Like the league was, definitely a lot more lopsided back then. You had your powerhouses and you had your weak teams. Where now a team can literally in a year flip the switch and be good the next year.
Oh, exactly.
Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
One signing makes a team a contender nowadays. And. So it's for me. It's hard to Bradshaw. You can't argue what he did, but I agree. Like he had the best defense ever, right?
Yeah.
And he had all that great.
I wasn't
all
comparing
the great players on offense as well.
I wasn't comparing him to Trent Dilfer. I was just saying he could have been like a Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
And probably still won. That's what I was.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's around him. Like
that's why I said he's. That's why I said
he's like we got to cut an inch off our beard for that one.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a great comparison to that. I look at it the same way with Phil Jackson. When he was a coach of the Bulls, seriously, I could coach those Bulls teams to an NBA championship back then. You know, then he moves on to LA, and he's got Kobe and Shaq, and again. So he was a.
All right, top three, bro. Top three.
Close enough. He's below Cordell Stewart, Nate.
No.
He's below Cardell Start.
Cardell.
You know what we should do, Nate? We should film a video. We should go try to source in the Strip District and, technically just get all of the awesome, Pittsburghese accents down there. That'd be
good.
Wait, there's such a thing as what was that accent?
Pittsburghese accent, yep.
That exists?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lingo slang. There definitely is.
Tell him, Rev. What's Rev telling us? Go Falcons. Come on, Rev. The Falcons, they should have never let Kyle Shanahan walk out the door, man. They should have gave him the keys to the car, man. They let him get away, and now he's making the 49ers relevant again real quick.
Yeah, he was a good offensive minded coach.
Yep.
And that's what wins now is offense. You know what I mean? You can have a good defense, but you gotta have an awesome offense to basically win it all. You know what I mean? So, Patriots had the best defense last year by far, but we've seen how that went. Pittsburgh had amazing defense last year and really young and up and coming defense, which I'm excited to see this year. And of course, we had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as our quarterback.
I want to show you guys this real quick. This is the Pittsburgh accent. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy. This is Pittsburgh Dad. He's one of the big YouTube channels here in Pittsburgh. He's got 195,000 subs. He does this skit basically as his dad when he was growing up, but he does it in a full-blown Pittsburghese accent, which is just awesome.
I'm thinking about, reading about, doing about. What could you possibly have to tell me that's more important than all that? What? This week's episode of Pittsburgh Dad is brought to you by Iron City Beer. Brady at New England. I tell you, in the midst of all this bad that's going on, it's like Pittsburgh sent out a little black and gold dove out there to the world. And when it come back, it had Tom Brady's Patriots pink slip in its mouth. Where the hell's he going anyhow? It's Tampa. That's perfect. He'll fit right in with all the other old people who whine incessantly when they don't get what they want. They better hope it don't have no night games. Everybody at town has to be in bed by 7. Early bird down Denny's, Wheel of Fortune, go to bed. I tell you, Giselle might be behind this whole thing. Get Tom Brady down to Florida, right into a home. Probably got tired of hearing all those old man. Well, I'm gonna play NFL to a man because I eat seeds. You know who else eats seeds? Birds. And they fly face first in the windows. Somebody better look in on Bill Belichick. He might actually have an emotional response to this. Shed a tear, don't know what it is, and then either A, jumps off a cliff, or B, even crazier, resigns Antonio Brown. I can just see Bill Belichick up there in New England, listening to Tony Braxton's Unbreak My Heart on repeat. You can expect Tom Brady to still win the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins twice a year. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's a cheater. He'll figure it out. One weird NFL offseasons where they realign the divisions, and the Buccaneers end up in the AFC North, and Brady's right back in my face, on my street, sitting on my parking chair. I'll call the cops. Julian Edelman, Of course, Grover Dill wants to be around Scott Farkas. I just can't wait till Ralphie beats the hell out of both of them. And by Ralphie, I mean reality. Brady thinks all that success he had, that's just going to follow him to his next team. No, he's going to find out. It's like going into a giant eagle you ain't ever been in before. You go in with your list, your game plan, how you think things are going to go, and then boom, culture shock. You're all disoriented. Why is the deli next to the cleaning supplies? Where's the produce? The produce is supposed to be right here. That produce has run a rat all the way to the under end of the store. He's getting $50 million. Guaranteed. Half that's going to the refs.
Awesome right there. You guys have a little flashback of your dad's talking to you about sports.
Yeah, that's what he does. A lot of it, he reacts to like Pittsburgh sports and stuff like that. He'll do like skits places, but the big thing is that he talks in like a Pittsburgh-ese accent.
Pittsburgh-ese, all right.
That was great.
If you Google it, there's like a whole like vocabulary for it, and it'll like give you a dictionary definition of, well, not like real dictionary, but like a Pittsburgh-ese dictionary type thing.
He said that Bill Belichick's up in New England listening to Tony Braxton break my heart. Oh, that was hilarious. He has it on replay.
You said that song go through my head when you said that too. I was like,
oh, break my heart.
Say you'll love me again.
Oh, that's great. That's too funny.
I quit smoking real cigarettes, and I'd hit a lighter and sit there while you guys are singing, you know?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing I heard was like the beginning of that. I was like, oh, break my heart. I just seen Belichick's in his office like this, like emotionless. Like, oh, that was great.
Alex,
I envision him looking like I know you guys have seen Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you seen a Bohemian Rhapsody?
No.
No? Oh, you gotta watch it. It's a good movie. But there's a scene later in the movie where Mike Myers is sitting at his desk, just like depressed because Queen is playing at Live Aid. And that's the vision I have of Bill Belichick right now, just sitting at his desk, depressed because he lost the goal.
I think Bill Belichick thinks he's still going to win the Super Bowl. I think he has a little bit of an arrogance that in my opinion, that's the way I look at him. He has some arrogance, and he thinks that he's the one that I think in his mind he thinks he's going to be fine. He's going to win it again.
There you go, Nate.
I can't even look at you right now.
I love Step Brothers. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I can't even look at you.
Yeah. Just whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, you know, Tom did them favors for years, and that's why they won Super Bowls. He took pay cuts, and
yep, for sure.
He made like a thing like, hey, if you're gonna come play here and want to win championships, you're gonna take a pay cut, but we're gonna win. You know what I mean? And that was the reason why they were able to be so good for so long, because they were able to have some of the best players in the world come there on like towards the end of their contracts when they still had definitely some juice left. Get a couple years out of them, and then they, you know, eventually would leave and get maybe more money or just retire or whatever. I mean, think of like Corey Dillon and some of these other guys, Randy Moss, like
yeah, for sure.
Chad Johnson. He didn't really do too much, but I mean, he went there. Teddy Brown. I mean, they're known for doing that type of stuff.
Wes Welker.
You know, just because of Tom doing that, it made it okay for these other guys to do that.
Yeah, because he was never
going to do that. So without Tom doing that, there is no championships. There is no 6 Lombardis in New England on top of.
I want to throw up in my mouth just hearing 6 Lombardis in New England.
So did he got paid? I know he went to Tampa. Did he get paid paid by Tampa? Did he?
Yeah, he got $25 million a year, which, you know, for how old he is and everything, that was crazy.
I mean, I know he's always been getting paid, but like Nate said, he hardly broke the top 5 in pay at quarterback every year, and he should have been number 1. I mean, he was winning Super Bowls. He should have been the highest paid player in the NFL. And at quarterback, and he never was the highest paid quarterback. He would always take a lower pay so he could have a good team around him. Actually, really smart move.
I'm gonna look at his salary history, just to look at like what he made, like for the past like.
There was always guys like Breeze, Manning was always making more than him. Those guys were always making more than him.
So Matt's asking, what would be worse, if Bill wins the Super Bowl or if Tom wins? For me, it'd be worse if Bill wins, because I don't want any team to have more Super Bowls than the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl for a long time. Tampa Bay, I want to be, I want to hurt my feelings if they want it.
So in 2000, of course, he made 231,000 because he was, 6th-round pick. 2001, he made 372,000. 2002, which I think that's the year after they won the Super Bowl, he made 3.8 million. 2003, he made 9.1 million. 2004, he made 6 million. 2005, he made 12 million. 2006, which I think that's pretty much the highest, except for, well, no, he made it a little bit higher in a couple other years. 2006, he made 14. 2007, he made 12. 2008, he made 8. 2009, he made 8. Yep. 2010, he made 16. 2011, he made 19.7. 2012, he made 12. 13, he made 13. 14, he made 19. 15, he made 13. 16, he made 14. And then the last 2 years, or 17, 18, he made 15. I mean, so he made money, but it wasn't.
You got guys making over 20 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was giving them, say, at least a 5 million discount on most of those times. And the only time he really, got like the 19s or the 16s were probably when he took like just signed extensions, and they gave him like extra pay because they were able to push it so the following years would be less out of his.
Right, Rev is right. His wife his wife is the moneymaker in that house.
Yep.
He's the breadwinner.
Yep.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean he married a supermodel, so
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's pretty smart though. To be able to make sure all the weapons around him were good. He was willing to take a little bit less.
Like honestly, like if I was Big Ben, or like say John Elway came back for you guys, and he was going to do like a 1 or 2 year thing, I would still get my money, but I would, but I guess it also depends on if you really want to win a championship or not. So for some guys, they don't care. They want to cash out. They want to make their max money.
Yeah.
I think that's what Tom basically was at with New England. Like, I'm tired of getting cheated out of some money. Like, let's let me get paid. We're not going to do nothing next year because they don't have any talent on offense at all but Elman. So, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Then I think a lot of it was just stuff behind closed doors for building up for 20 years. So, that Bobby Bonilla deal with the Mets, that was probably the worst deal in all of history of like sports.
Yeah.
That's like, I was going to say, that's like from Bobby Bonilla's standpoint, he's probably the smartest baseball athlete in history because that dude is getting paid 20 years later.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Isn't like, what was he getting paid every year? Like $2 million or something like that a year, like 90 years or whatever. Like it was yeah, like
for sure.
That was the most like idiotic move by any owner or franchise I've ever seen.
Elway missed out on a big deal, didn't he? Frank knows all these facts. Elway missed on some kind of big deal, didn't he?
Oh, Elway, Elway was one of those in the early years of free agency because they were trying to win in Denver every year. Elway was one of the original taking a pay cut to try to build the team around him. So yeah, he never made the big money that even quarterbacks back then were making. He was making all his money locally in Denver with his car dealerships and all that other stuff.
Didn't he miss out on some ownership stuff though? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, my brother said Bobby Bonilla gets $1.6 million every July 1st.
Oh, he's getting paid soon.
Bobby Bonilla. I think that runs through like 2040 or something like that. He's still got like 20 or 30 years on that deal.
That's insane.
The interest rate and everything was insane on that.
I'm thinking of a basketball player. There was a basketball player that got offered some ownership in the team or something like that, and he passed on it. Anyways, I'm thinking crazy stuff.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
There's a basketball player that missed out on millions and millions and millions of dollars because he decided to just sign. He got offered some ownership or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember it, so I'll just.
My brother said he gets paid through 2035.
That's awesome, man.
Dude, one of my other favorite sports stories. You guys ever hear the Ricky Henderson story?
No.
So back in it was the early 80s, I believe, mid 80s, he signed a contract with the Oakland Athletics. It was a new deal, and they gave him a bonus check for like $1 million. So they gave him the check on whatever, let's just call it April 1st. A year later, when Oakland Athletics are balancing their books, they realize they have $1 million check that has never been cashed. So they start figuring out, they trace it back to Ricky Henderson. They go to Ricky Henderson and like, Ricky, you never cashed your $1 million bonus check. He goes, well, why would I have it up on the wall of my house? He actually framed the check, put it on his wall as like they're like, dude, that's a real check. You got to cash that or it's no good. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever read up on, that's kind of the Reader's Digest version, but that's the Ricky Henderson bonus check story. And it's actually confirmed by.
That's good. I know Anthony wants to touch on that question, and Rev, I know Rev Resale in the chat knows a lot about that as well. And Ray Dominguez knows a lot about that too.
Yeah. So I've started selling sports cards. I used to sell them back in the day, like not early 90s, but like late 90s and stuff like that. But I got out of them for a really long time, just getting back into them. Actually, just watching Rev Resale sell them and stuff like that kind of got me all nostalgic. So I just got back into buying and selling them. So there is money in them, that's for sure. But yeah, I haven't found anybody to give me $20,000 for a card yet. I haven't come across anything that expensive yet. But if I do, I'll be sure to make a video pretty much for that card alone.
Yeah, that'd be a question I have. Like, are there any modern cards that are worth that kind of money? I know there's some older cards, but are there any modern cards that like were autographed or one of one or anything like that?
I'm sure there are. Like off the top of my head, I don't know of any specific ones, but like for example, LeBron James rookies, they're not too old. No. From like 2003. Those are worth a good bit of money now. But yeah, like a lot of like, for example, like Patrick Mahomes rookie cards, stuff like that. Those are like big bucks now.
See, I saw someone did a video. Someone did a video. They sold a Patrick Mahomes print plate autograph.
Bluegrass.
Yeah. You got a decent amount for that card, that's for sure.
Yeah, he bought it. And he sniped it on an auction, then resold it. I believe he was trying to get a little more money for it, but he made some. Yeah, he made a couple $100 really quick. So that was, either way you look at it, it's an awesome situation. I mean, because of what happened with the world right now, I think that's why he pushed to get rid of it, which is pretty smart idea because collectibles like that tend to tank. But there's people like Gary Vee of the world that we're waiting for something like this to happen that are going to be buying up all the collectibles now.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I know the card industry itself as a whole has changed tremendously. My brother Ray, he started collecting sports cards back in the 70s and has never stopped. And then we lived in Arizona that's when Uncle B and I became friends, but I moved back to Denver in 92 and my brother has worked for the Colorado Rockies since then.
That's awesome.
Until a couple years ago that he left to go work for Red Rocks, the concert venue here in Denver. But I got out of the card collecting stuff years ago, but I went with him he has a friend that owns a card shop, and it just blew my mind. Like a pack of cards can have like 3 or 4 cards in it now and be $20 for a pack of cards. And then I know there's all different licensing now with the different card companies have exclusives. So it's weird to me to see like, and I'll be totally wrong, but this is just a generic example. Like you look at like a baseball card and there's no reference to the Rockies or the Rockies logos or anything on that card. It's all airbrushed out. It's just a baseball player, but his logo's airbrushed out. It just says like maybe Colorado on the card. It's weird to me to see it look like that. It's the exclusivity they did to the cards to the different companies.
I think it's really awesome that they made cards really cool, like with the jerseys and the autographs, like because like as you guys seen for many years, like just your basic sports card, like other than maybe some hollows, weren't really going for a lot. You know what I mean? Like at all. So that doing that, they brought it, more to the fans, and it brought like more of a like a smaller like amount of them to make the value, you know, so people like ourselves that are resellers and just fans of the game in general will go, okay, well, let's go buy some boxes just to try and do it, or let's go collect now because, you know, because these are out there now. So, you know, it's pretty cool that, you know, that they're doing that.
Well, I think what you guys have done helps the industry as well. Like you guys did those box opening videos. Mm-hmm. Like you start watching it, you can't take your eyes off of it. Like you're just like I've watched. I don't even collect anymore. I collected when I was a kid, but I'll start watching that video. I can't take my eyes off of it. Like I want to see what you guys find. Like it.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that's helped a lot too. That's helped the industry a lot. YouTube and doing videos like that. There's guys like you said. That's what they do for their YouTube channels. They just open sports and then they give them away or whatever. You know, they'll assign it to somebody. They'll be like, this box is going out to Uncle B, you know, and then he'll open up the box and show him what he got. And yeah, those are addictive videos to watch, man. They're fun to watch. I get hooked. I can watch hours of it if I don't stop myself.
I've been watching a lot of it myself. Like DV that was in here earlier, I've started watching his channel in like the last couple weeks, and you know, just few other channels out there that basically open up cards. And I like to watch them to see like what sets I should be looking for, what are like the popular cards, like what's trending, and the guys that collect, like a lot of these channels I've been watching, you kind of want to get inside the mind of a collector, so you know how to better service them as a seller. Right. So like I watch it too because part one it's entertaining and I enjoy it. Like Jimmy was saying, but part two, I also am trying to do like some kind of research so I can get a little bit better in that area of reselling.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. You know, and you don't. I'll say I watch it for entertainment. I don't realize that I am learning. I'm learning. You know, I watch sports. When I was a teenager, I could tell you who was playing third base for the Pirates or whatever team. You know, I can't do that anymore. But I definitely am learning names. You know, watching them, I learned some of the more popular players, learning names and whose cards to look out for. So yeah, you might not even realize you're learning when you're learning.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes pretty much for anything too. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports cards or anything, but anything that you even enjoy. The more you learn about it, the better you're getting as a seller, being able to maximize opportunities to buy and sell those things in the future. But I do want to remind everyone, today is the first day that the new eBay voucher is available. So if you guys want to make sure you go and get that.
Show us how to do that, Nate. Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah, I can do that.
You talk about show us how you because I know it's kind of hidden. For those of you that don't know how to get there, it's definitely hidden. You know.
I bookmarked the page where you can get the coupon at.
Yeah. So essentially, you're just going to go to your seller hub, and there'll be a drop-down bar there for marketing. You'll just click on the marketing one and then click on subscriber discounts, and it brings you to this page right here. And from there, you're just going to kind of click where it says see details. And then it's going to give you a coupon.
Let me get my pencil. Write that down.
I'm going to use it right now. There's like anybody can use that coupon. So now that I've shown it,
yeah.
Hurry up and buy.
Hurry up and buy. Where are them bubble mailers?
Yeah, I get tape. You know, like I get my tape and my bubble mailers this way every. 3 months, I make sure those are the things I keep stocked with this, and then I get my boxes and everything else elsewhere. But I don't ever have to worry about tape or bubble mailers. So I love that. I love that discount or that free.
Yeah, but as you guys can see, there's so much stuff here.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff,
and they're always adding new stuff as well.
And I get the 8x6x4s as well, but I just buy those. Because by the time I buy tape and bubble mailers, but I buy it all at the same time. But
yeah, I don't buy the tape. I usually just buy just different boxes and stuff just to have a whole bunch of different array of stuff to package, because it's different sizes for so many different items that we all sell and stuff like that. It's good to have, because I might be able to get something cubic where maybe if I didn't have that box, or maybe I don't know how to Frankenbox something, or maybe usually for me it's like I don't have time to Frankenbox, so it's like I'll just throw it in the best box close that fits or whatever, and just rock with it for the most part. So so for me, I always get something that I need or I'm short on, and I just rather order tape, like I use 3-inch tape anyway too, so I don't like using 2-inch tape anymore.
Well, then I sell a lot of action figures, and it's very important for me to keep that action figure at the first class rate,
Yeah.
So, and then you have to use your own box for that. So that's actually a really good idea, because, to have that action figure that's literally hovering right around 15 ounces, I got to make sure I have the right size box and everything to keep that action figure in first class rate. So
yeah, exactly.
And then obviously at that point I got to use my own box. So that's a good point.
Yeah, because I ordered some 6x6x4 boxes by accident, but I actually used them recently, and it saved me a good bit of money, because there was an item that was like, with that 6x6x4 box, just kept it just barely under a pound. So that saved me at least $2, and I sold like 20 or 30 of them. So it was really pretty clutch for me.
That adds up big time.
It saved me like literally almost $80 just in shipping fees.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I buy the boxes. I have a local guy here that gives me a pretty good deal, so I buy them. But yeah, either way, trying to keep that, at the first class rate, and then having to use your own box, obviously that's a good idea.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, just
cool. So I got my shipping supplies.
What's that?
I just ordered my shipping supplies.
Yeah, today's the day, guys. So
yep,
I'd buy them now.
Supplies.
Buy them now, or forever hold your peace.
What's up, Carolina Hustler? Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, what's up, Carolina? Casey, right?
Yep. Doodle in the house. Good to see you. Lynn, I don't know if I said hi to you yet, but hello, Perlini. Thank you for being here.
I think she came in whenever you were full screen, I think.
Oh,
no, you're doing the Picksburgh dad, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That might have been one.
So
what got you guys into reselling, for those people here that might not be familiar with your channels?
You go first, Jimmy.
I'll try to keep it as short as I can. So I was a mechanic before this. I was a diesel mechanic. I worked for Cisco Foods, working on the refrigerators and trailers. Then medical issues, I had to retire from that. Basically, I was told I had to retire from that. So I took a job in customer service, taking phone calls on repairing stuff, like mechanical calls for a farm equipment company. Found out real quick I didn't like doing that. So I went in to quit. I went into the office to tell my boss I quit. Like, I just can't handle. I can't handle the stress. People yelling at me. I'm not built for that. I was gonna make it a real nice departure. I was gonna put in my 2 weeks, but I just decided it wasn't for me. And he's like, "Well, hold on, because you know everything about this stuff. So don't quit yet. Let me go talk to my boss." He goes and talks to his boss. Comes back to me. He's all, "So our e-commerce guy just walked out on us. Like our e-commerce seller just walked out. And we need someone to run eBay and Amazon." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm just a fat fingered mechanic, but I'll see what I can do,
Yeah.
And so I started. They showed me a couple things, but I caught on really quick to eBay for sure. Amazon was a little bit more of a challenge. But needless to say, a year later, I sold $1.5 million for that company between both those platforms. And the guy before me who had degrees and stuff was doing like maybe 500,000 a year, and I did 1.5 million in my first year gross sales. It's gross, but
yeah.
So I was like, dude, this stuff. I couldn't believe I'm selling like log splitters for $4,000 online and people having it delivered to people's house, and they're buying this stuff. And I was like, this is mind. So had a disagreement with my boss over, you know, what I was doing for the company a year later, and they weren't willing to reward me for that. So I was like, fine, I'll just go. You know, at that point I was already part-time. I had already started my own part-time selling on eBay just to see if I could, you know, do it myself. And yeah, that when they weren't willing to, you know, reward me for the amount of money I was making the company, I was like, you know what, I'll just go make my own money. And so I had already built up some capital doing it part-time, and that was my plan all along anyways. You know, working, and then everything I sold part-time, I saved completely. I did not spend a dime. It was back into the company, and I saved it all because I wanted to go full-time. So I built up a really nice cushion, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna leave the company, and I'm gonna go full-time. So it was kind of by luck. You know, I do owe that company for giving me the opportunity to learn it while I was working. But that's how I got into it. And then, you know, Frank can tell you from there, I started talking to him about it. He saw what I was doing, and then that's when he decided to jump aboard.
Nice. How long ago was that? February February was a year for me full time. So I've been full time for just over a year. So it was a half a year, 6 months before that. So middle of the summer that year before that is when I started so it was in July. So because I went to the eBay Open, my company sent me to the eBay Open. Mistake for them, I guess, because they sent me to the eBay Open, and that's when I started talking to resellers. I didn't know what a reseller was. Yeah.
So at the eBay Open, what would that be? 18 is when I started talking to resellers, and they started, like, you know, I was like, yeah, I work for this company, this company, and I sell stuff for them. Like, and everybody I was talking to was a reseller.
Yeah.
That's when I learned about reselling. So July of 18 is when I started. I came home from the eBay Open, and I started my store and started buying stuff at thrift stores and whatnot. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was that's a year and a half I've been doing it, or year and a half, basically, a little bit over a year and a half.
That's an awesome story how you went from, you know, being a mechanic to your job, you know, putting you in that position. Then they you know, they don't show their appreciation back, but then you take your skills and do so. That's awesome. That, you know, you set yourself up for basically they trained you to become a reseller.
Yeah.
And now you're doing it on your own. So your situation's like kind of like mine. Like that's how what I was doing. Like I'm trying to just keep stacking. So this way I get to a certain plateau, and then I can just jump forward, you know. So that's awesome, man.
It was still scary. I'm not gonna lie. You know, when I made the decision to quit, it was scary. That, you know, but hindsight 2020, a year later, I'm doing better now than even as a mechanic. I was making good money. I was making really good money as a diesel mechanic. Up until even now, like I'm doing better. I'm making more reselling than I was as a mechanic. Like it's crazy.
Nice. That's
so
really
hindsight. It was worth it. You know, when I went full time, I was not making what I was making working. It was a risk. But it worked out for the better for sure. You know, being able to concentrate on reselling, and building my inventory up, and I got to at one point I was just over 900 active listings. I'm at about 870 right now, but 800 seems to be the number, guys. 800, 800 got to the point where I couldn't keep up with my listings. Like I was selling as much as I was listing.
Nice.
So it was hard to build that inventory for me. Like it was just like going out the door faster than I could source, mainly more than I could source it.
That's good. Great problem to have.
And I would say for you with your job when you were a mechanic, the other thing that really, yes, you were making great money doing it, but you were doing a lot of swing shift and graveyard shifts because that's
I know
your body. Yeah.
I worked graveyard and swing my whole life. Like up until this, I was on graveyard and swing shift my whole life. having kids. I mean, I know they can relate having kids and stuff and working out daycare and stuff. Like, I don't want to pay daycare, so I'm gonna work nights. So I literally I worked nights my whole life. And you know, one of the funny things was I moved from Arizona to Colorado, and I took a night job outside in Colorado working in like 0-degree weather, man. That was rough.
I can imagine, man. That'd be rough.
Yes. That's my story. Sorry, a little long-winded, but that's my story. How I got to be here.
Yeah, mine's probably not as cool. So I actually started reselling on eBay back in 2008, and I would just buy.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
And I would just buy stuff randomly here and there or like I would part out stuff like, you know, and I would just list stuff randomly here and there. But I never, again, it's weird when you don't think big picture. I never thought anybody did this as a job.
Yeah.
So I would just sell something here and there. Once every 6 months, maybe I'd throw something on eBay. Didn't even know about the buy it now stuff. I just did auctions and, you know, but again, I wasn't doing it for the idea of making it a full-time job or anything. I did it as how can I make a couple extra bucks every once in a while on something sitting around the house.
Yeah.
And then I started laying, you know, cut back on it a lot and didn't really do anything on eBay at all, just other than leave my account open. And then, honestly, it was Uncle B, Jimmy, after he got back from the eBay Open, and he started getting in my ear about this stuff. And I'll freely admit, at some point, I was like, "Yeah, Jimmy, I know you're selling, you know, bull crap." You know, it almost seemed like he was like trying to get me into this pyramid scheme, you know, money, you know. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, I honestly caught myself a lot of times like I'm talking too much about it. People don't want to hear about this. I'll shut up.
But then, and again, Jimmy, you know, did the smart thing too. When he forgot to mention the part when he got back from the eBay Open, he started looking around his house, and he started picking stuff from the house to sell. And he'd come to me and be like, "Hey, can you ship this out for me?" Because the company I worked for, I had great UPS rates, and I would ship the stuff out for him. And then I was like, "Well, crap, this isn't a once every couple of weeks he's selling something. He's asking me every other day to send something out for him. There might be something here."
Yeah.
He's, you know, either he's shipping stuff to empty boxes to
just trying to fool me. He's trying to fool
he's just, you know, pulling my leg here, you know, this damn pyramid scheme he's trying to get me on, you know. He's gonna sell me some motion.
Early on when I sold all my tools, man, because I found out I wasn't gonna be able to turn a wrench again at all, ever. Like I can't. And so I sold all my tools, and that was, problem is I can't find tools like that. They're hard to find, but when I sold all my tools, that was how I started. I mean, I was making a lot of money on my tools.
Imagine. Grimes, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, Justin. Definitely not necessary, but 100% appreciate it.
That's awesome.
We were actually just talking about you a little bit earlier. I was giving you a shout out just for being awesome and one of my favorite channels. And thank you for helping me today too. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks so much also for trying to give me a little push towards 1K. I seen some movement, so thank you. I appreciate that, man. You've been always a super supporter for me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you know, I started, you know, going to thrift stores with Jimmy, and we, you know, started looking at stuff, and then started doing the same thing part-time, looked around my house, whatnot, found stuff to sell. Went into my eBay account, found out it was still active and good, so I didn't have a lot of the restrictions early on that everybody else had for selling limits and all that stuff, and literally dove head first. And then kind of as a luck chance, one day my brother sent me a text, said, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And I said, "Oh, me and Amanda are going to go to some garage sales and thrift stores, look for stuff to sell on eBay." So he goes, "Oh, well, that sounds like getting my teeth pulled." So, but he went along with me anyways. And he was kind of watching us look for stuff. We were trying to get into a lot of clothes. And next thing I know, he's like texting me, "Hey, I found this." And I'm like, what the heck are you doing at a thrift store? You don't go to thrift stores, you know? So he landed up being kind of my business partner in this. And so he does a lot of sourcing for me. But so this was still all part-time. This is in, again, that same July, August timeframe with Uncle B. And then in January of last year, I'd been with my company I was working for, which also is in the transportation refrigeration industry, like Uncle B and even like Nate. And after 20 years of, I talked to you guys or on the chat yesterday, 60 hours a week, 20 years at the same company, I got let go after a 45-second meeting where they told me I was no longer needed. And they gave me a severance package and paid me some back pay for vacation, stuff like that. So then I sat around the house for a couple of days trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do now. Do I, I got to make a resume because I haven't had a job in 20 years other than the job I had. So, and my wife said, babe, you've got a little bit of a nest egg you're sitting on there. Why don't you try the eBay thing full time? And if it works, you stick with it. If it doesn't work, get your ass off the couch and go get a job. And 14 months later, I'm still sitting on I'm sitting on a chair, but I haven't had to go look for a job yet. So
it's funny you say that, like sitting on the couch though, because like, I see there's a couple mechanics and former mechanics in the chat, and like that's one of the things. Like this takes a different kind of work ethic. Like,
yeah,
he jokes sitting on the couch, but I've talked about I've heard Nate's stories. Anthony, like you have to have a different kind of work ethic to make this really succeed and go to the next level.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A lot of our blue collar backgrounds and stuff like that help with that. Maybe that's just an opinion, but as a mechanic, I had to stay busy. I could not just sit around do nothing while I was at work. I was busy the entire time I was there, turning a wrench the entire time. No time to talk or BS. So it definitely takes a different kind of work ethic to do this, to get it to those kind of levels. So anybody that's doing this successfully, they have a really great work ethic, and I'm very intrigued by where people got that ethic, that work ethic. That intrigues me a lot. I love to hear stories about how people got to that work ethic, because you can't just quit your job and sit on your couch. You will not succeed. No way, no how.
Yeah, and me and Nate were talking about that the other night, and you and I, Jimmy, I would say, my day still starts at 6:30 in the morning, getting up, packaging up any orders I got overnight, whatever, get my shipping done. I want to be on the, listening to these guys at 8 o'clock our time. But while I'm listening to them, I'm working, listing, I'm doing whatever. And there's times my day ends at 11, 12 o'clock at night. If I got some more orders to ship out, and then doing research. Again, like I said, I was getting an email at midnight last night that I got approved for Amazon. I'm doing Mercari now. So literally, like you guys said, we work more now from more time of my day is committed to doing this job than any job I've ever had, as well as other things I have going on in my life. So yeah, anybody who thinks that we sit around and think that I'm fat like this because I don't work, yes, again, because we all, and everybody in the chat, everybody knows we are all working our tails off every single day. And it's a grind. Like, every day we're hustling. Nate, that's a perfect, we're hustling every day. I always say in my videos, go hard 7 days a week, because in order to make this work, it is a 7-day-a-week job, Well,
that's why there's
24 hours a day.
Hustling, every day I'm hustling. Another, great name, because it's true. Every day he is hustling, and it's not just hustling and trying to, do deals. It's like literally physically hustling. Like you are physically going all day, every day.
Yeah, like this morning, I was up till 5 a.m. I took a nap, basically, woke up at 8:30, and here I am. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I've learned how to take what my situation was, which, the bulk of my day is at work. Like from 1 to 10, I was at work. So how am I going to source, and also do the morning show? So, I kind of put together like a plan to be able to do it. And you've seen some of it the other night when we hung out. It's
sure.
Checking online, looking online, shop Goodwill right now, in the mornings, sometimes like after the show, I'd hit up Ross on Mondays when they were open, hitting up their clearance deals and stuff like that. So it's really just taking, your situation and just applying the best way possible to just push, you know what I mean? do it. I mean, because there's different ways you can source and do things to find the things that you need to really push your business in that way. So it doesn't always have to be going to the store. Just sometimes it could be just sitting here, listening to YouTube or watching YouTube, and you got, your browser going and looking around, and boom, there it is, an awesome deal where you can make 15 or 20 bucks, an item, you know what I mean? So you just got to be very on point with everything going on with the deals, and understand the stores and what they're doing. And, you can become very successful if you kind of get the hang of it,
Right.
Yeah, Nate, we were up
real quick. I want to make sure everybody, Grimes Finds, he's be doing a premiere tonight. Everybody, make sure you check that out. Let's get Nate to that 1,000 for sure. Let's do that, guys.
Absolutely.
I'll be home for sure, because today I'm down to 2 to 7, so that's 7 East or 7 Central, so that's 8 Eastern. So I'll be home for that for sure.
I'll be there. I'm gonna go set a reminder. You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
you're working on that right now, so we should see it. Filming it now. Okay, well, I'll be there for sure.
I'll be super excited.
That's awesome. That's the kind of support I love to see on YouTube, guys. That's what you guys do a lot of. I absolutely love it to see the community come together and support each other and help each other out. Like, I think a lot of us started watching some of the big names. That's my story. I started watching the big names, not realizing there's this whole community of people that support. I mean, they're so supportive, all awesome people. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is the better everyone else does, the more viewers they're bringing to the community. So, I love seeing people grow. And as somebody who's really good friends with Nate, like, I'm really happy to see everybody kind of coming around to help him get to 1K now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really thankful. Really thankful.
Yeah, you definitely do, man.
And the thing about it, I always stress with everybody, all of our friends that are on the chat and the 4 of us, if everybody supports each other, hits that sub button on everybody's channels, it won't take long for any of us to get over that 1,000 sub. That's everybody's goal, to get those 1,000 subs. Everybody, like each other's channels, and it'll get everybody there that much faster. I try to sub to everybody's channels. And it's great. I've gotten 6 new subs just as the show started today. So there's, some of the people in the chat are, showing support to me. I'm only up to 86 right now. My channel's only been up for less than a month. So,
we got to get you to 100 before the show's over. Yeah,
that'd be great, guys. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, let's get Frank over 100. I think that's doable.
That's doable, right, guys?
You got to get him to be able to go live on his channel, right? Don't you need 100 to go live on your channel?
Yeah, I think so. Unless there's some kind of way around it now, but I'm pretty sure you need 100 to go live. Hey, thanks, Stevie. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Again, if you guys are into cards, make sure you check DV out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna
check that out too.
Maybe one of these mornings, DV, we can get together, man, and maybe we can have you on, kind of show off what you do.
Yeah, and we plan on down the road with doing a show with my brother as well. He's going to kind of show off his sports memorabilia collection he has in his man cave. And then he's pretty knowledgeable on grading cards, and he's actually has some friends that work for grading companies. So we're hoping to maybe even get one of those people on to discuss the grading process and stuff like that. So we're definitely got some fun things in the future on our channel as well. So
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I want to start having guests, but I was like, I kind of had in the back of my head, like, we're not helping anybody by having them on our channel. We're just now getting to the point where I'm thinking, I want to start having people on our channel and helping promote other people as well. I just always felt, early on, I felt like, nobody's gonna want to come on my channel. Nobody's gonna want to. But now, I definitely, if you guys ever want to join us, at the 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock hour, I know you guys got a lot of stuff going on, but if you ever want to join us, we would love to have you guys for sure. And anybody that wants to come on our show is more than welcome. Now that we're starting to grow it a little bit.
Pencil us in for like a Thursday one day, maybe even tomorrow. I mean, depending on what you guys got going on.
Yeah, you guys have a big thing tomorrow night as well, right?
Yeah, we're having our auction.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll message you. I mean, I'm down for tomorrow if you guys want to come on tomorrow, but whenever. I mean, Thursday's a good day for you, Nate.
Yeah, because I'm off on Thursday, so
okay.
This way, you know, I don't have to, like,
we'll figure something out.
Yeah, this way I don't have to like buzz out like, you know, before the show's over or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, obviously, we want to have you guys on. You guys are awesome. It was more on our end, like they're not going to say yeah. They're not, you know, and I know you guys would, but and, you know, I kind of
I love
like,
them collabs. I don't care what the sub counts are.
right.
Yeah.
It just, like I said, I've always
on my part. Just a bad assumption on my part.
Thank you, Lisa.
Like we've always, yeah, me and Anthony's always want to be community based and just help out everyone. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I would say, like, hey, if you got a question on how to do this or whatever, I'll give you my answer. My answer might be different than somebody else's, but you know, I'll give you my answer for what I do. And if you want me to come on your channel, I don't care if you have 2 subs, 5 subs, whatever. Just as long as you can start up a live, I'll be on. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
you know, it's all about supporting each other. It's all about helping each other. And you know, we are a group of people that, you know, hang out and chill with each other for X amount of time every day. And you know, it's awesome to get to know everyone. And then it's like almost like a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, for now, we see you in the chat somewhere, and it's like, hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing? You know, it's a cool thing because I don't hang around anybody outside of here. You know what I mean? Like when at home, like if I called someone up, it's not to hang out. You know what I mean? It's more or less like, I don't know what else I'd call them for, but I really don't hang around with nobody. So the community has been my, like, you know, my like extension of my family or my friends and people that I hang with every day. So it's my way of like getting somewhat of like a break. You know what I mean? Where, okay, I'm hustling, let's take a little break, maybe eat something, let's watch some YouTube. You know what I mean? The same with people. So I've just been very happy with, you know, just being part of it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I feel the exact same way. Yep. You know, you know, growing up, I was a very shy person, wasn't very social. This, like Frank will even say, he was surprised that I was, out of all people, Jimmy's doing this, like, because I wasn't very social. I was very shy growing up. But I love this. Like, I love, you know, everybody's just so open and, you know, welcoming. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of funny. Our friendship when we grew up, like I said, we both met in 1988, 7th grade, Mr. Harris's history class.
Damn, I was 3
I was Jay. This guy was Silent Bob.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
could come to my house, and my mom and dad, to this day, my brothers, sisters, talk. He would come to our house. He could be at our house for a week during the summer or whatever, and he would not say 3 words the whole time he was there, unless we were in my room playing Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo.
Nope.
He would, I mean, he was like this in the room, but if we went outside, like eating dinner at the dinner table, this dude was a mute. He wouldn't talk. And 30 years later, he's now, at least around my family, he opens up now, but everybody, my family still teases him about it. So then all of a sudden, when I seen this dude on YouTube doing these videos and stuff, I'm like,
who is this guy?
There's no way it's that dude right there. No way. And so then he started getting into my ear, and he's like, Frank, you need to start doing these videos. Just watch my videos. And dudes, I was the one that was petrified to get in front of a camera and do these videos. And so, yeah, it's kind of funny. We kind of role reversed in this whole social media YouTube thing. He's the blabbermouth, and I'm the one. I was like,
I don't know what you want to do with my hands.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I really like about you guys. Like I said before, just like the real life friendship that you guys have, and it just makes for really good chemistry.
Cool. Yeah. I appreciate that, man.
I want to say thank you so much to Philly Picker here. I appreciate that. That's our goal. Is we just want to be here for people to help in any way we can, and you know, we enjoy doing this. So thank you. That's awesome to hear stuff like that.
Truer words have never been spoken, for sure.
Definitely.
You know, I reach out to you guys, and you guys always quick to answer. Always, you know, Nate was like, "Come into my private, you know, my working group, and let's talk about stuff." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." And
yeah.
He sent me the invite to the working group, and we, you know, showed me some things I had questions on without even hesitating. You know. And then, and then Anthony was like, come on the show. Let's go. All right, we'll be there. It's like he reached out. Like, I didn't reach out to him. He reached out to me. So, I mean, between some of the chats we've had, for the most part, he reached out to me. He was like, come on. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome guys.
I've been wanting to promote you guys just because, like, I really enjoy promoting people that I watch personally and that I, believe in. And I enjoy your guys' content. I really do. And I like you guys both as human beings as well. So I'll do whatever I can. And I know Nate will too, to help you guys get to where you want to go with YouTube and whatever.
Definitely. Just like Graham said, like, everyone helps out everyone. Grimes is going to try and give me 1K, and, other people have helped me out too. And, like, what would I be just to not help anybody else and just grow solo? Like, that's not being in the community or helping people, or, I want to give it back and do the same thing. Like, if it wasn't for the YouTube community on reselling, I wouldn't be reselling. I wouldn't even know what it is. Like, I just happened to stumble upon it, hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I just tell that story all the time, but I mean, it's true. So that's why I don't mind helping people if I have some time and I'm off. And like how we hung out the other night, like, I'm up every night until like 3, 4 in the morning. Like, if you want to come hang out and get some questions, let's do a live, or, not live, but like, let's do a private, and, I'll show you some stuff, or if you have questions, I'll answer some stuff. And I mean, it just goes along with what I do,
Yeah, and watching different content too. Like, if it wasn't for Rev, I wouldn't know about the Baptist lottery tickets being so good. If it wasn't for Carolina Hustler, I wouldn't know about the market and golf clubs. If it wasn't for all these different YouTubers that are giving so much information out, I wouldn't know to look for any of that stuff. Who knows? Would you guys be opening up sports cards if it wasn't for watching Rev, and learning that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, so that there's just so much good free content out there that people are just willing to share, and they're giving you something. I've always said they're giving you something. These people are all, think of it as like a gift. Like, they're willing to just say, here, you can have this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And my attitude is, and I'm not taking a shot at anybody, because God bless them, the people that are able to get people to pay them to get this stuff, this information. But, my opinion, I don't want to be, I don't want the information, the knowledge that we have. I don't want to sound like now that pyramid scheme guy that's like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do all this, but, drop $100 into my PayPal account and I'll give you the secrets to selling. I don't want to do that. I want to give my knowledge away for free, so that everybody else can be successful, because you're not going to gain anything by spending all this money on information that's out there for free, that guys like us and the other people in the chat that have channels can give you for free. There's plenty of free content out there. You just got to work to find it.
Yeah,
so
definitely. And if you can connect with some people who are just like down to earth people, that are willing to, be there if you have questions, like I always, and I know Nate does too. We always keep our contact info in all of our videos, like down in the description, you'll see like my email, my personal Instagram, like all that stuff down there. My whole Linktree, so you can get a hold of me in any way, shape, or form you'd like. Just because we want to make ourselves available to people, because we're not here looking for viewers, we're here looking for friends.
Right, 100%.
That's a quote. Like, that needs to be put in writing on a, I'm not here looking, just for viewers, I'm looking for friends. Like, that's a great quote. That needs to be in parentheses, on a board somewhere, or in a poster or something. That's a really good.
We'll have to.
Anthony, you that saying right there was like Arn Anderson saying the 4 horsemen of professional wrestling. That is such an organic statement right there. That just, I don't know if that just came off the top of your head, but Jimmy,
yeah,
I agree with you 100%. We're here to make friends.
Yep, I like that saying. That was a great quote.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on.
Yeah, Jimmy's
basement. It's gonna be on the wall. I'll tell you right now.
Nice.
I mean, like,
that's a badass statement.
Like what a lot of people are saying in the chat, like, there's so much to learn. Like, someone can feel like they know a lot about something, but I guarantee you they can learn something from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It could be something minor, it could be something huge, it could be just something maybe that helps you with your everyday day-to-day stuff, between like using a program, using an app. I mean, knowledge on items. I mean, the list goes on, and that's what makes this community so strong. Like, we are all, have great information from creators to viewers to everyone. So it's just basically just like, let's bond together, let's help each other, and especially in times like we're going through right now, where every dollar that we have or what we make is so important, because it's what's feeding our families and getting through this time, so we can flourish after the fact. So
yeah,
for sure.
Lisa said you can learn from newbies too. Absolutely. One thing I'm a firm believer in is everybody has value, and there's something you can pick up from everyone, regardless of their walk of life.
100%.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Crystal says, I love having all of us as her coworkers and friends every day. Yeah, absolutely. That's the nice thing about this, because most of us were busy listing on eBay, Amazon, whatever we do, and literally we plug into this YouTube community, and it's like co-working. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, because like just picture me down in my basement till 5 a.m. with nobody to talk to or not listening to somebody. There's no way I'd be down here all night just doing that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I can do with some music or something, but I don't think it would be anywhere close to the amount of productivity and enjoyment that I have every night.
Yeah. Real quick on that, on talking about newbies, you don't mind me talking about the show we're going to have at 11 o'clock?
Not at all. You have talk about anything you want.
A newer seller, a young man who's a newer seller, newer to YouTube. He's going to be joining us. Brandon at Flippin and Listed. Okay. And I'm really intrigued by him because he's a younger guy who, he was a gamer. He had a gamer YouTube channel, and he's literally like flipped the switch into focusing more on reselling on YouTube. And I've learned stuff from him as well. And just to see a younger, someone that's younger, jumping into this, head first and to watch him grow, from having a very, very, very limited budget to where he is now, and it's still early on. But if you want to learn from a newbie and get an idea what a younger newbie in this game is doing, check us out. He's got a lot of energy. This kid's got a lot of energy, and it's gonna be a fun show to get. I want to pick his brain on that kind of stuff. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put the link in the chat real quick on that show.
Absolutely.
And check it out. He's like I said, that kid's got a lot of energy.
You guys are always welcome to to drop links and stuff in the chat. Like, me and Nate don't mind that.
Yeah.
If you have something cool coming up or whatever, it's nice. We like to hear about that stuff.
Right now with YouTube not sending out notifications like they're supposed to.
Yeah, no, that I missed half of a couple shows last night. The best offer queen had a show last night with Tesla. That was a great show, man. And I missed half of it because the date notification.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's funny. I was talking to Erin after the show last night, and I told her the same thing. After you had texted me and told me about it. So then me and Erin were talking last night through Insta, and I was like, man, I didn't even get the notifications. I didn't even know about it. I was busy doing other things. If I'd have known, I would have watched the show. And so, yeah, that was kind of a bummer that she that I missed that show because I didn't get the notification through YouTube. So
it was kind of crazy, by the way, last night, because I jumped in and she had this crazy guy. It was like all of a sudden you see the Cincinnati Picker, then Lonnie, like all the big names were all of a sudden in her chat just talking. And she was just like, Lonnie's here? Like RVA flips, like she had all the big names in her chat, like out of nowhere. Like, yeah. They were like, it was almost like they just decided to pick this video and we're gonna go all watch it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had them come in several times for the morning show as well. Not always, but yeah, it's always really cool to see somebody that you watch and look up to pop into the chat. It's really cool.
Yeah, that was to see how excited she was. It was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Billy Picker says, I went to Disney a month after Picksburgh, and his Disney videos helped me out with my trip. made the Disney trip more awesome. My whole family, my boys thought I was a Disney expert. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about releasing the Disney content that week, but I figured it would be better for me to release content down there of what I'm doing rather than to just leave the channel vacant for like 10 days or however long I was down there. So I'm glad that the videos were able to help you. That's really cool. I already have planned the next time we go, I'm going to do a whole lot of different videos in Galaxy's Edge over in Batu, like Star Wars Land.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I had so much fun there last time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm a Star Wars geek for sure, man. That would be.
Me too, man.
I would love to watch that.
We just rented the Rise of Skywalker last night on demand, and I rewatched that with some of the bonus clips and stuff.
All right. Yeah, I've only watched it the one time when it came out. I need to watch it again. I liked it. A lot of people had mixed reviews. I liked it. I liked the way they went with it. I enjoyed it.
I watched the Dark Side of Wrestling New Jack documentary last night.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So outside of your show that you guys are doing every day now, what else do you guys have planned for your channels?
So for me, I want to start having more fun with my videos. So I was doing a lot of, and I still am going to do a lot of pre-recorded. I have some editing blocks that I'm working through. My computer's not made for editing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to make my videos more fun. I've always wanted to do that. Editing is what kept me from doing it. Adding sound effects and cool little, I just don't have the computer to do all that. But I want to work on making it fun. Have you watched Tesla Picker? I believe. Have you watched him yet?
Oh yeah.
He has a lot of fun.
Great up.
He makes the video, yo, bro, and that's I love it. I want, and
on the defense.
have my own spin on it, but I've always wanted to do that kind of stuff with it, and it's in the plans. I just gotta figure out this whole computer thing. I literally, I just have a cheap Walmart laptop and I just can't edit like I want to. But that's the plan. Eventually, when I get my basement, I'm gonna have a base. I'm gonna get my basement, have a lot more room down there. I'm gonna do a lot more. Try to make my videos funner and have more fun with it instead of just, I'm in my bedroom and I'm just like, I sold this. I sold this. I sold this. I want to make it funner. It's just getting past that obstacle I have of not being able to edit having the technology to edit. But that's my plan. And then make it fun for everybody and get the information. Help people out and give information and just have a lot of fun with it while I'm helping people.
What type of phone do you have?
I have the 10 Plus Note or 10 Note Plus.
Oh, you could probably record videos just fine with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I record fine, but it's when I go to edit, like when I go to add the funds, maybe I need to look to see if there's a good editing app.
Yeah, there's a couple different things. I'll help you out and try and find a couple things to help you out with that.
I actually record on this little. I don't have a GoPro, but I have this little Sony 4K camera.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
So I record on this, and then I'm not even using my phone. I record on that, and then I edit on my computer. And it's just my computer. You played a video game where you're just lagging like crazy. That's how I edit. Like just my video skipping instead of playing smoothly.
I'm pretty much the same thing. I gotta actually do more content in my channel. I only have, I think, 4 or 5 videos up now, but just getting more content out there. I want to do a video on how one of the biggest mistakes I made early on in this, with me having about 1,500 listings, about a third of those, 500 of them are closed, and not having a good inventory system for clothes. So Uncle B knows. He saw me for about
I'm gonna check that out. Sorry.
About 40 hours of re-inventorying and the way I do my clothes now. So I want to do some like how-to videos on that. I know there's some people that already done them, but I just want to put the way I do my inventory on my clothes. Because I'll tell you, I would literally dread before I did my current inventory system on clothes. I'm not lying when I say I would literally dread getting a clothing sale, because it would take me upwards of 20 to 30 minutes to find an article of clothing. I tried to do it a certain way and it didn't work. And then I tried another way and it didn't work. And then honestly, by watching some YouTube videos, I kind of pieced together some different people's ways of doing it to make it to where my system works for me. So I'd like to do some of those kind of how-to videos, you know, stuff like that. And when everything settles down and we're able to be out and free again, when Uncle B and I are out on a Friday morning going garage selling or estate sale and do some of those kind of videos, that kind of stuff. So.
Sure. Yeah, I want to do a lot more of that. I want to do a lot of, you know, the actual out doing the hunt, out treasure hunting and finding the treasures.
And then do some live, you know, drop-in shows like I've seen you guys doing where, you know, in the evenings or something, just not dedicated to our normal time show that we do every day, but, you know, just, you know, again, if more than anything, again, I say I want to build a brand, you know, but more than that, I want to build my friendship group, my coworkers, my family of resellers, and help everybody out and help each other, you know, help see everybody grow, not just me, but everybody, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Flippin' Goodies gave you a tip here. They said for clothing inventory, get yourself a 4-drawer file cabinet and put in alphabetical order. I know Tommy the Bargain Effect stores his in a filing cabinet too.
Yeah, so I'll show it in a video that I do, but I have totes and I have them inventoried and numbered. So if I sell a shirt, it'll tell me in my you know, my SKU and my listing on eBay, it'll say go to A23, and I have a tote that has X amount of clothes in it. And I have a bag with that shirt in it that's marked A23, and I pull it out, and so it works out great for now. But I mean, if a filing cabinet, I can fit more clothes through a filing cabinet, I may be looking at that direction too. Because right now I have I'll show you guys. There's all my clothes. You can see the letters on them.
Yeah,
and then in each one of them, you can kind of see down below there. So this tote. So if I sell this particular shirt in my SKU, it'll say KK29. So it works, but obviously these totes take up a ridiculous amount of space in a closet I have in my room. So
yeah,
I do the same thing down here in the basement. Just tons of totes, and they're all marked. I try to have them sorted by type of clothing item. So far, that's worked so far. But the thing I really need to do is I need to actually polybag all my clothes, which I haven't done that. So every time I fold them, they keep getting unfolded when I have to dig something to the bottom. So I should just buy a bunch of just poly bags, which I mean I use them for Amazon anyway. So I might just order like a huge box of just like the 9x12s or 12x12s or something like that, and throw them in there.
They sell a lot of clothes, Nate?
Yeah, I have a good bit of clothes. I don't know if I think he definitely beats me in just sheer amount, but yeah, a good portion of what I do on eBay is clothing.
Yeah,
that's why I know it's kind of a little bit of more of a grind for me on eBay, just because of like my inventory, especially right now. Compared
you have a lot of long tail.
Yeah, but it's kind of like by design, you know what I mean? Amazon's the Fast and the Furious, and eBay's more, you know, $1, $20, you know what I mean, type situation.
So I don't mean to cut it off, but we're trampling on Dee's time right now, so I want to make sure that we respect her and don't go over her show. Everybody has her link in the chat. If you could drop it, I'd appreciate it, and then we could just all head over there and show her some love. Flip Particles. She does her show at noon, and then right after her, these guys start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys are stopping. It's on your channel, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, it'll be on my channel today. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Guys, we definitely appreciate everyone being here. Is there anything any of you guys want to share before we end the live?
We're going to be on my channel tomorrow. Check out Grimes 8 Eastern for tonight's live. He's going to try and give me a push. So just check it out, share it out, like it out, and most importantly, love it out. So
let's get Nate to 1,000. Everybody, get this guy to 1,000. That's what I want to end with is get this guy to 1,000.
Yep. Let's get her done, guys.
Did you get to